Hi, it's Tony from Cassette Comeback. Now, a while ago I did a video on ICM cassettes, and you'll find it's not there anymore because when I actually made the video I used some royalty-free music that I found on the internet that several years later stopped being royalty-free. And I've got to admire the long-term vision of these scammers, you know, give your music away as royalty-free, get it embedded into YouTube videos, and then boom! We'll get it not royalty free anymore, they'll get copyright hits, then we get all the money from the videos. So as much as I admire their guile, I ain't playing, so that video's gone. However, Mr. Tony Cruz at Cassette Comeback in Canada has sent me some lovely cassettes to look at today. And it's this, the Visa high-tech turbo. You know, it's the 80s, everything's turbo, turbo this, turbo that. The Formula 1 cars were turbo, your Renaults were turbo, your hot hatches were turbo, turbo, turbo. So they made turbo cassettes. Now I know this says Visa, but ICM sold under lots and lots of different brands, and the OEM for lots of brands. But yes, this is definitely an ICM cassette. So let's have a read of the back, and we've got to savour this. We've got to savour this because it's just, you know, the biggest pile of shit I've ever read on the back of a cassette. And here it goes. Are you ready? Visa turbo cassettes are equipped with unique turbo wheels which generate air cooling circulation during fast tape winding, preventing tape damage and dB loss. Visa Turbo precision-made professional high-tech housings guarantee exact and smooth tape transport. The finest recording tape is utilised, providing high coercivity and retentivity. Let's look. Interworld Electronics in Miami. Like I say, patented high-precision mechanism made in Switzerland, but that, come on. Turbo wheels generate air cooling circulation which prevents tape damage and dB loss. That is the biggest load of BS on a cassette I've ever read. And in this day and age, it makes these really endearing. You know, it really is a product of their time. And yeah, you know, it's just such a load of rubbish. So I'm not going to unwrap this one because I actually have one already unwrapped. And here it is. Now, the first thing when you look at this shell, what do you think? Let's move that out of the way. What does it look like? Yes, it looks like a TDK, MAR, MAXG, SAXG shell, but it's just clever use of frosting as opposed to it being made of alloy, as in them cassettes. And you see, these are the turbo hubs, the ones with the holes. Now, they're just hubs with holes in them. There doesn't seem to be any special sort of cooling thing there. And let's be honest, whose tape deck ever overheated during fast forward and rewinding? Who got a cassette, fast forwarded it, and then suddenly noticed that there was a lack of decibels on it afterwards, which was caused by overheating? Yeah. So let's take the hyperbole out of it and just take it for what it is. And this is actually, it's a really good shell. I'd like this shell a lot more if it wasn't drowned in all that marketing BS. But this is a really nice shell. Yes, it is an MAR, MAXG sort of look-alike, but the hubs are good, the shell's good. These are nice, tough shells. The tape runs smooth, and indeed the tape in it, because it's ICM, it's usually going to be BASF. Sometimes, actually no, red leader, it could be AGFA, but it's certainly of German origin. It's either BASF or AGFA. And let's have a look. That's a nice, oh, that's a nice deep brown. That doesn't look cobalt dope to me. That is just a very good ferric. It could be an ultra packed ferric, slightly see-through. If you can see, it's slightly see-through. But you know, let's look at the actual case itself. It classes itself as a super ferro UFX1. Like I say, apart from hyperbole at the back, but other than that, it's a pretty plain J card. And again, the stickers. You see, self-adhesive cassette stickers. Please position above the raised section of the cassette. So I think it wants us to stick them on the bottom there, because that's the raised section. It doesn't want us to stick them across the turbo hubs. And, oh yeah, look, oh, it's actually inscribed in there, turbo. But so yeah, so they're pretty plain and stuff. But yeah, I know I'm being very facetious, but I have a lot of time for ICM cassettes. The shells were superb shells, always were. I always like the hubs, these and the sausage hubs, which are on some of the other ones. If you don't know what I mean, then I can't even refer you to the video because that's gone. But these are nice hubs. It's a great looking cassette, and I'm sure it performs superbly. So let's just fire up a deck and have a play with it. Okay, we're going to use a Dragon today, and this is a perfect deck for this test, because if you read some of the comments here, bing, you'll see that this is an overhyped, over-exaggerated deck that's drowning in marketing and doesn't live up to the hype. Hence why, you know, for such a cassette, this is a perfect deck, isn't it? Because let's be honest, the best decks in the world are like the ones these guys buy. They are. I spent $5 for my deck in a thrift store, and it's miles better than Dragon. I don't want a Dragon. Dragons are overhyped and rubbish. The rubbish sound rubbish. My deck's miles better. It costs $5. It's miles better. Just like my car. I bought it off the side of a road for $200. Miles better. I don't want a Bentley. I definitely don't. As I drive back to my mum's basement, I don't want it. Yeah, well, you know what? I've worked hard. I've got a Dragon. I think they're wonderful, and I'm going to enjoy it. You've never had one. You don't want one. Bully for you. I bet you don't wonder what's in chicken nuggets neither, do you? Anyway, so let's calibrate up the cassette. I think it should be pretty much calibrated, but let's just double check. Yep, I mean, this is, again, as someone said, these decks are for people who like to do knob twiddling. Well, I'm sure them people who comment like that like to do knob twiddling, but they're not knobs on Dragon cassette decks while they're alone in their studio apartment. Right, okay, so the cassette is all calibrated up, so I'm going to run this around +3. I'm not going to try and force this. I know it says Super Ferro, but there's nothing worse than doing one of these tests and finding that the cassette distorts like hell. So I'm going to run it at 3, and that should be good enough. And the track I'm going to use is another one from my current favourite YouTube royalty-free artist, Gunnar Olsen, and this one's called Good to Go. So let's go. I tell you what, let's crank it up a bit to 5. Let's see how it does. Oh, that cassette feels so cool. It's so nice to take a cassette out that's been cooled and not burning your hands like other cassettes when you take it out. Yeah, so, consistent with what I found with ICMs, that was a very decent sounding cassette. The shell's nice, the tape sounds good. Did sound a bit hissy, I've got to be honest. It was a bit hissy there, but it seemed to handle +5 pretty good.
The truth.
So this cassette keeps on with the tradition that anything usually that says made in Switzerland when it comes to cassettes is ICM, and if that's the case then you're going to get a really nice shell with very decent Agfa BASF tape in it. So yeah, this upholds that. This is a really nice cassette. I like this. This is a lovely looking cassette and it performs well. But this is the first Visa version I've seen, because obviously they seem to be a Miami based company. So we're not going to have seen these in the UK, and indeed there are these versions as well by TSA which use the same hyperbole and they're called turbo and they talk about cooling. Even the wrapper seems to try and make it look like there's turbines inside it or something. But if you're in the UK, however, have a look at this video, bing, because these style of cassettes were sold as Seisho cassettes. There might have been Matsui as well. I've never seen a Matsui one, but definitely I've seen Seisho cassettes which were ICM, and Boots the Chemist in the mid-80s also did this exact cassette, but without turbo written on it. You had Boots on it instead, but it's exact tape as their in-house brand, so they might be slightly easier to find than these. But yeah, ICM cassettes, love them, and yeah, I buy them wherever I can. So thanks to Tony Cruz at Cassette Comeback for sending me these, and if you want to buy some, he's got some in stock. If you're over the other side of the Atlantic, just go to www.cassettecomeback.com and he'll be able to sort you out. So thanks for watching. Until the next video, take care. Bye bye.